Jane. Thank you for taking the time and checking this out. I really appreciate it. So I have not been on here in a minute because I have spent the last 7 or 8 weeks doing yoga teacher training so that I could be certified to actually teach how to move the body and breathe. And all that fun stuff. And it was the best experience. Y'all, I felt like I was like on retreat for the past couple of months. Like all that I got to do was breathe and move my body and meditate and do studies, like study all these spiritual texts. And I literally was just doing it for myself. And it was like I got this huge fill up. And I am like so grateful for Diosa Wellness. Like, Chakra Flow University is the jam. Highly recommend. Anyway, so I wanted to hop on here and share some of the things that I feel may be of service. Because there's a lot going on in the galactic realm, in the collective, and I feel like within each of us. And so I'm going to nutshell this and keep this as concise as possible. So we have entered the Lion's Gate portal, and it's like the Sirius star system is in Leo, and it's like this huge big heart energy coming in. And just a heads up, this is all through my lens, so if something resonates, awesome sauce, and if it doesn't resonate, totally cool. If it does resonate, you can always click the button that has this shape of Das thumb on it. Just saying. Anyway, so here we are, we're in this portal time that's like until like mid-late August. So we're gonna be in it for a minute. So it's all this heart, I'm seeing this as like all this heart energy, all this love energy coming in to our realm. And that sounds so fun. And at the same time, for us to live fully from our hearts, because of all the human conditioning and programming that we have grown up in, we get to like clear that program to let the heart codes pave the path of our life. So it can feel emotionally like a whole mess of stuff. It can feel like confusion. It can feel like imbalance. It can feel like crazy. It can feel like judgment and frustration. It can feel like waves of joy and love. It can feel a lot of different ways. Physically, it can feel like so tired all of a sudden. It can feel like heightened bouts of energy. It can feel like anxiety. It can feel like extreme thirst. It can feel a myriad of ways. Because we each have our own one unique vessel, and we all, although we all have been programmed so very similarly as human, we all have perceived it differently. So as it clears, it will be clearing based on the perceived experience of the life that had been lived. So it can come up as trust issues or as feelings of trust. And what I want to share is whatever is coming in this time, my advice is to kind of go with the flow. It's a lot of fire energy. We're in Pitta season. It's a lot of fire. And for this area to be the lead, it's like you want the leader to be clear and clean and pure, right? The leader is loud, our hearts are loud, and they're like, we're going to clear the program of the judgment and the fear and the lack and the stagnation that have been programmed unto us. Thank you, human, right? So having the awareness and then the perspective of the neutral observer for this heart clearing makes it a lot easier, like a lot easier. And I know that there are so many who have, done the work, right? I feel like if you're watching this, you've done the work. Like, you're doing the work. You've done a lot of clearing. You're like, next level. You're like, okay, now what? I'm maybe tapping into like spiritual gifts, or starting to like download a lot of information, starting to make connections with the other realms, starting to maybe see things otherworldly, yet here in this now reality. So I feel like there's always a next step, right? And I feel that the next step starts with this question of, well, now what? It's like, okay, like my third eye's open, I'm connected, I've done the healing work, yeah, I got this shit coming up, but I can handle it, maybe need some support on how to handle it, because the things that come up, they're not fun necessarily. It's not like, oh, I remember all these traumas and I can feel where I felt, I can feel where the perpetrator felt, I can feel where my parents felt, I can feel where my family felt, like I can feel where all these beings felt during this one traumatic clusterfuck of an experience. And then being able to take all that and just observe it and watch it kind of coagulate, clear, grow, dissipate, whatever it is for the individual. It's part of what I've been experiencing. It's like, oh, this stuff comes up and it's like, oh, that's cool. I'm like literally a neutral observer to all this stuff. I like it, just saying. So wherever you are, I feel like there's this now what. So I'm gonna go through a couple of the now what's. So first, now what? Be easy. Like, all this energy that's coming in, there's a lot of asteroids and meteors and like galactic solids that are coming really close to the Earth. The sun is getting ready to do this like spinny thing, and this big energy chunk is like coming out, and it's gonna come toward the Earth like really soon. And we may feel that in a bunch of different ways. We may feel that emotionally, physically, mentally. We may feel it in our electronics. We may get frustrated. We may get in car accidents. Who knows? Here's the thing. It's all good. It's fine. It's going to be fine. So anyway. So all these energetic shifts are happening. So be easy about it and be aware of it. Remove and reduce, release all the judgment that would have been perhaps attached to it if still in alignment with the old program. When we feel super sad, frustration, rage, confusion, whatever that is, acknowledge it and just be with it. Like, what if? Here's a little what if. What if you get to experience grief? Something really bad happens and you are experiencing grief. How about grief and rage? Man, that's a doozy. That's a relationship. So you get to experience grief and rage. And a lot of times we can attach to that grief and that rage, and whether it's, why did this happen? Why am I feeling this? This is awful. I shouldn't be feeling this. I'm supposed to be enlightened, whatever. Rather, in this grief and rage experience, being like, what if this is the last time I'm ever feeling grief and rage? Like, what if? Like, who knows? What if it is? Well, then, personally, I'm going to kind of relish it. I'm not going to be like, yeah, grief and rage, let me hold on to you forever. However, I'm probably going to just kind of make peace with, what if it's the very last time? It's kind of like, I've done a lot of like cleanses and stuff in my life where it's like, oh, I'm gonna not eat all the food. So then what do I do right beforehand? Like, I eat all the pizza and all the things that I'm like clearing and cleansing out of my body. Not necessarily the most fun choice, but doing that when we feel these like really these old programs, these old emotions that are attached to these old programs and these experiences that we're clearing not only for ourselves but for the collective and our ancestors and all the other timelines. Just being this neutral observer at it and being like, hey, what if this is the very last time? We can be in it and really just fully experience it, and then it starts to dissipate and it goes away like that. It's crazy. It's like burning away and washing away at the same time. Highly recommend. So that's one of the things, right? Some stuff is coming up. As these energies are getting close, it's like, ooh, that was a close call. There's a magic and wonder that we can hold in our hearts as all this clearing is happening. So then it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I get that. So what's next? What now? Like, so now we get to follow the heart, right? It's like, okay, heart codes have been activated. A lot of the DNA is like bing, 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 and all this energy coming in keeps like activating all this DNA and turning things on within our light body, releasing the heavy density that we don't need, clearing out any DNA shit that really was just in alignment with all the other program crap. So now it's like, okay, heart is on. What do I do now? And that, I feel like, is where a lot of people are that I'm talking with. They're ready to leave the jobby job. They're ready to be of service. They're ready to just be like, screw the matrix. It's not my jam. But how do I live? Like, how will I survive? How do I find a place that I want to give back to? And I want to be with a nonprofit, or I want to spend time giving back to a nonprofit, but I don't even know which one, and how do I do that? And do I go work at one? So I will just put this out as suggestions, and I can only say this because this is literally all the stuff that I've done in the past few years of my life. Like, released all the old programs, activated a ton of DNA, opened up my heart, like, what? And, you can, what I suggest is be in some stillness and feel if you could do anything, like what would that be? When you see something, when you're just living your life that just pulls the compassion cords, that just makes you light up in this really deep in your heart way. For me, I realized that, and I didn't even put this stuff together, so I'm sharing it now from the now perspective in retrospect. So I had, whenever I see anyone that's experiencing homelessness, I acknowledge their existence. I maybe make conversation. If they ask me for something, if I have it, I can give it. And it's always been this thing. Didn't even think about it. And then sometimes I'm sitting in my car and I'm a few cars back and there's someone that has a sign that's like, hey, I'm hungry, or I need money, something, please help. And when I see someone ahead of me offer this person something, whether it's $1, a bottle of water, a food item, a pair of shoes, it literally washes over me with so much love and compassion to watch some human support another human in a time of need. And because it makes me feel that way so much that it brings tears to my eyes, and it makes my heart just, it literally feels like my heart right now, even thinking about it and envisioning it, it feels like it got bigger, and it's not like a thump thump fast beating, but it's almost like this gummy emanation, if that makes any sense. It has a very real feeling to it, more than just the physical. It's almost like a plasma. And whatever that feeling is, I like it, and I want to be of service to that more. I want to be of service to those who are searching for support and love and acknowledgement and life support. So that's what I would say first, is to sit and feel what feels like that to you. You know, is it, you know, watching someone save baby seals? You know, is it, you know, helping starving babies? Is it, you know, going out and watching people that have bees? You know, just anything that's just their passion and their love pouring out to another being, right? Plant or human or animal or earth. Whenever you can witness someone and wherever they're pouring their heart and their passion, and if it makes you feel the way I feel, like I just explained, follow it, do it. Like, be like, you know what? Every time I see someone that are feeding people, I don't know, it just makes me get all like, oh, then like explore those things. So that's the next thing, right? Is heart's open. Well, now what? Follow it. And that's how you follow it, is you sit, and this is, again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you, like, you in general, hey, you may want to try this thing. At least it worked for me, and if it works for you, then yay, that makes me happy. And it can't hurt. I mean, like, even if you try this stuff and it, like worst case scenario is that it's still better, or at least neutrals out. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this on point and not keep it from going too long. So following your heart is, like, to me, is the next step. You know, after a lot of the program's cleared and you like realized the matrix and you're trying to unplug from it. And if it's in your means and your capacity and your ability to trust yourself and the universe and all these other things to, like, peace out to life, sell all the things, move away, do the thing, whatever, or part-time stuff, like, find the balance, and it will just keep morphing, because as soon as we start to take a step in the direction of the heart, the universe is like, ooh, we really hear that one, let's help a brother out. Like, ooh, the sister is doing a thing, y'all, planets, hey. You know, like, then everything just comes at you with so much more ease. And I'm definitely not only a witness to that, but an experiencer of that. And so there's that. And so then there's the, okay, well, now what? So now, and this may not even be in an order. I mean, I do feel like you get to be aware of the matrix and unplug from it and start to actually reprogram your thoughts, words, and actions. But, you know, there's that. Anyway, so my experience is then the next step is to create. So I create and co-create and help facilitate retreats and ceremonies and events and events that benefit community, you know, and it lights me up. I love it. And so the next step for me personally is to follow my heart in a whole new way. And with all this energy coming in, it's super supportive, and it's also, I don't want to use the word scary because that sounds so dramatic, but I'm going to use the word scary. So I'm going to use the word scary and just be dramatic about it. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Anyway, so I am getting ready to embark on an adventure of my heart. I'm still, like, holding down the fort and being of service because I can't not. However, I've been doing that only for the past over a year, maybe 2, something like that. And I can't keep doing that. I'm finding this balance of receiving, because the heart is double-sided, right? It's giving and it's receiving. It's this back and forth. It's the same time. And before I was, like, giving all the things, and then I would, like, take a break and, like, give to myself. Or I would be like, oh shit, I'm giving so much and I don't know how to receive, and then like the universe literally saves my ass via like YouTube and friends, and like miracles happened. Thank you so much. Anyway, so now I'm following my heart in an adventurous way, in to me a creative way, to me in a very vulnerable way, and in a very, very, very trusting way. Very trusting way. But that's what I do, is like I will come up to the ledge and I'm like, oh shit, it's about trust now. Okay, jump. And that's what it feels like every time. And I'm starting to get a lot more comfortable with this leaping business, but man, it's like a thing. So I am in this adventure of my heart. I am going to fly across the country and meet a human, a man-human, and I don't have any expectations other than to have a really great time and to adventure and explore and to see a part of this country that I've never seen before, especially to the extent, you know, hike and see rainforest and trees that are giant and all the fun things. And I am doing it in a way that like I'm trying to figure out how to share this. So I've had maybe opportunities that are kind of sort of similar to this in my life, and I was too afraid. I was too afraid to take the leap, to take the step, to make the call, to take the trip, to meet the person, to make the commitment, whatever. Because old traumas in this heart zone. So now I'm like, this is the medicine that I offer. This is what I preach. And so of course the universe is going to give me an opportunity to clear up my path and grow and expand. So I'll be sharing all of this adventure in trust and following of the heart, while I am giving myself the adventure, trusting in another person, which could be this amazing divine partnership where I'm like, oh my God, swept off my feet, oh, it's all love and kittens and rainbows and all of the unicorns galloping in the wind. Or we're gonna be buddies. Or it's gonna be like, ooh, you smell funny in real life. You smell funny in real life too. And we're still gonna have a good time because, I mean, hello, we're humans. But I feel like that's one of the next things, is once we clear the program and we follow our heart to be of service. And again, this may not be ordinal or ordered. But then the following of the heart in that give and take at the same time, in that like really open way when it comes to relationships. Because I don't know about y'all, but that's been what's always hurt my heart the worst, right? Like getting fired from that job hurt, yeah. You know, totaling my car, yeah, hurt the heart, sucked. You know, losing people, that sucks. But man, there's something about being in a relationship, like an intimate partnership, and you trust, and then you go into this timeline of this future and you attach expectations to it, and unbeknownst to us, we still have all these fears attached to that and judgments of ourselves or the person, but we're just going to hold on, and then a lot of times it just doesn't work out, and then it's like, just take it out and just put it on a shelf and let me heal. Then I'll go back to the heart, and then I'll put it back in and I'll try it again, but it's this puddle of goo. So now I've gotten to the point where it's like my heart's good and I'm ready to trust it and take the steps and experience receiving love and giving love openly, and not out of an attachment of, I'm going to give them love so that they'll love me back. But more like, no, I just want to give love because it feels really good. And I'm going to receive love. And that'll be new for me, personally. I'm not saying that the relationships that I've been in, that they didn't give me love, but I had my own emotional blockers up that even if they were giving it to me, I wasn't fully receiving it. You know, because I thought I didn't deserve it, or I wasn't good enough, or whatever. Conditioning and programming at its finest. So that's really what I wanted to hop on here and share. Like, create your reality from your heart. You know, clear the program, keep clearing the program. It's going to keep coming up, because it's like I see it as like software updates on like the phone, right? It's like, oh, you get a new update. We keep getting these updates, which means that those are like, I see them as like bugs or old parts of programs that are just being cleared out. Nobody's going to look at the old programs and be like, oh my God, that's a really shitty phone. No, it's just you update it. Anyway, so like keep clearing the program, keep opening the heart, be still, meditate, be still, meditate, be still, meditate, repeat. Start to incorporate more spiritual practice, meaning practices that allow you to hear and feel what this is calling you to do. If that's muddy, hit me up. The reprograms, they challenge, hit me up. If you're trying to find a place like, okay, I've tapped into what I want to do, but I don't know necessarily who to call or how to make this happen, holler at your girl. I know tons of people. And ways to be of service. But anyway, be of service. And be of service to yourself in those rituals and spiritual practices where we meditate and we pray and we go for walks and we play with children and puppies and we rub our bodies down with oil and we look at ourselves in the mirror and we're like, yes, human vessel, score! I still have one. Awesome sauce, yeah! You know, when we do these practices, we're energetically shifting, and then our bodies shift, our mental body, our emotional body, like everything shifts. So that we're literally, that's how we integrate our higher self in this human experience. That's how we are ascending here on earth. And then now what's next is we get to create. We get to explore some tantra. We get to explore indulgence and pleasure in every fucking thing. Because we get to. And that's a whole other topic. That's a whole other topic. I don't really want to tangent because I've already been talking for a while. But that's where I think as a collective we're coming up on. And I feel also that as I adventure coming up, as I leave in less than a week, then that's going to be a part of it. So I'm excited to share that. And I want to thank everyone who reached out and that were like, hey, haven't heard from you in a minute. I really appreciate that. I was doing the hardcore refill for myself, for my body, my mind, and my spirit, so that I could be of bigger service and so that I can create and receive all of these energies that are coming in, because I've been having a lot of people around me that are feeling it a lot and having some big life experiences that are just really unpleasant. And I am so grateful that I have taken the time to bring it all in, because I'm finding that I'm able to be of service for a lot of people right now in their process and in their shifting and their ascending. So holla, yes. So I hope that this was of service. I look forward to sharing all the stuff and things that I get to follow my heart through, and also what it feels like as I continue to integrate and assimilate and anchor down all of this stuff in my human experience. And I hope that everyone's ride is easy, and when you catch those waves of like love and joy and bliss, that's awesome. Ride it, man. And then when you're no longer on that ride, that's okay. You'll catch the next wave, right? We're not necessarily in this now, collectively especially, ready to ride that bliss wave all day, every day. We still have a lot of clearing to do. So catch it, and then when you go down out of it, just be like, oh, okay, I guess I'm gonna clear this attachment that I had as a child, and that's why I had all this depression and sadness and grief. Okay, Okay. And maybe you don't even know why this stuff comes up. You know, you may get these waves of, you know, of complete sorrow, and and that's totally fine. You don't necessarily need to know why it's happening. You can just be with it. Let it wash over you and through you. Then the clarity may come, right? I feel like that happens to me a lot. It's like I just start crying and I'm like, huh, okay, I guess I'm releasing something. And then it comes really clear. I'm like, oh, I get it now. Wow, that was so cool. I just released that. Oh, cool. But if I had been in the middle of the crying and like, I don't know what I'm releasing, then I literally wouldn't have been able to, I would have been muddying what I was clearing, if that makes any sense. So have fun on this ascension process, y'all. It's fun. Ride the wave, enjoy this Lionsgate opening. It's a lot of heart. And then we get the full moon on like August 15th-ish. I'm having an event that I'm excited about, and I'll be calling in a lot of energy on that night. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm finished. I think I'm complete. So I hope that everyone enjoys this day, this now. I hope that this finds you well and at peace. I hope that all the thoughts and words and actions that have come through me are of service and in contribution to all beings everywhere, so that everybody can live creatively and free and liberated and happy. So yes, that was a little Loka Samastasuki no Bhavantu, in case anybody was like, we know what that means. I know what it means. I was just saying it in my translation. Anyway, have a really great rest of your now. And if you have any questions or comments, or you want to share this, or click the little boop boop button, awesome sauce. If you want to hit me up or connect, there are links below. Bam! And you can kind of see what I have going on in case you want to be an active participant in any of it. Or if you need some support in your ascension process, I'm here for you. Thank you. So anyway, have a great now, okay? Bye.